Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to CLG's live coverage of the Corsair Avengers Cup. I'm met as joined by NZ, and we have the lovely Bass on streaming duties. But here we go into game number 2. If you have just joined us, first game went to CLG, or I could basically say first game went to Frog and NZ. He was so strong with the Anivia. Anivia was banned this game, and instead he has picked up the Galio to replace that one. But either way, we could actually see, for the first time in quite a long time, a team fight kicking off at level 1. Having said that, though, maybe not. Maybe I've spoke a bit too soon, as Teamless are going to push back towards the top of that lane. Renekton has to be so careful here. He has opted for the right decision, going to the right rather than the left, as the entirety of Teamless are just starting to move around en force in these bushes.
Yeah, I think they're just going to go for this counter invade right now, and Renekton has to be quite careful here, actually, Vince.
Yeah, he is definitely walking a tightrope here, but I think he should be okay. They've kind of managed to play ring around the rosy here, and Renekton has managed to escape somehow, as the two teams are now kind of switching positions in that sense. That Renekton's now going to be pushing back up towards that top lane. He should be just fine now, and in the meantime you're going to have CLG, of course, on the purple team now, going to be taking down those wraiths with absolute ease, potentially as well going to be trying their luck on the red buff as well. Is Mundo going to go for red buff? Yes, he will. Graves is going to probably pull for him, and they should get that with no problems whatsoever. On the flip side though, CV has just been used on that red buff, so they know exactly what's coming here. Renekton could be caught out from Yorick, but he's going to pull back instead, and Shyvana opting to go back as well. So nothing too out of the ordinary going here, just a jungle invade from CLG.
Yeah, and TL actually on the opposing red as well, so it's just going to be tit for tat. They're going to get the enemy red, and the other team's going to get the enemy red, so basically just in exchange there, they're going to go back to their jungle, probably pick up the blue for either their mid or themselves, whatever they feel like doing. But the one battle I am so interested to see in this game is just mid, because you got the likes of Galio with that ultimate as well, you got Morgana's, and in team fights I'm going to be so intrigued just to see how Janna does use that monsoon, and if it does interrupt Galio in any way on the allied team, because that's the last thing you want to do. We were speaking about it in Champ Select, and that's the main thing I just want to see, how they execute that. And if they can execute that, I definitely think they can win this game, because Janna is a perfect counter to Morgana, can just push away from that element.
Yeah, exactly. But on the flip side as well, NZ, Morgana, she pops that Soul Shackles. It's going to be quite difficult for the opposite team to actually pull back, because, especially if she has the Black Shield enabled, she is going to negate some of those spells coming her direction. So another very interesting kind of battle, so to speak, a mini battle in between the team fights to really watch out for. But either way, no early action has came out. You can see there that CLG is slightly ahead by about 100, 200 gold. Nothing to write home about here. Yorick is just going to continue to farm that top lane. Thought for a second Shyvana may be coming up to try and help him out there. And Mundo is going to be taking down those golems. Fairly low health, but he should be just fine. He's got the double buffs as well, of course, from that earlier red invade that he did into the opposition jungle. And he is now just going to recall back once again. So very slow, very methodical start. Once again here, NC, we saw this last game as well. Very much a farm fest for the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm definitely just going to throw this out here right now. A Quicksilver Sash is going to be a must. Well, not a must for TL, but just getting rid of that Galio armor is going to kind of make, you could probably say, Galio kind of useless, because I mean he definitely depends on that armor for his team. I think he's actually already run out of HP pots in mid, Vince. So Galio seems to be going under a lot of pressure at the moment from Morgana.
Yeah, he is, and I mean the creep score is fairly even, 24 to 24, as even as it gets. Mundo did just come down as a sniff of potential gank coming in here. Morgana's on relatively low mana, but Mundo is just going to pull back instead, realizing maybe the gank isn't on just yet. Of course, that just goo on the floor is going to do quite a lot of damage there to Galio, so he's going to have to pull back. Let's have a quick look at bot lane, because for a second I thought we could see an engage coming in from Kennen. He has taken a lot of damage there from Janna and Graves as well. Going to push back towards that bush. Doesn't want to overextend too much, especially when he doesn't know where Mundo is. Unbeknownst to him, Mundo is actually going towards top lane. Potential gank on the cards for Yorick here, but Yorick is going to pull back. Very smart there. Really hint there. He's now going to push in, so going to be a gank onto Yorick. Will they try the tower dive? And Yorick being forced to flash back there to risk that, to chance it onto the Mundo with red buff would have stuck to him like glue. So Yorick maybe doing the correct thing, just flashing right back, but he could get tower dived here as Mundo and Renekton are definitely stating their intent, rushing past those minions, just going to pick them up instead, and I think Yorick should be just fine for now.
Vince, I'm sorry, but I missed that because I have to switch streams again. So, facepalm.
No worries, he didn't really miss too much. Thought for a second Yorick maybe getting tower dove, but nothing really ended up happening. So yeah, Mundo's just going to go back towards his jungle, going to take down the golems, and let's have a quick look at the bot lane. How is the creep score faring? You're going to have Kennen on 38 and Graves on 43, so relatively even. Obviously Graves does have the slight advantage there, but Kennen kind of definitely not one of the top tier AD carries you'd expect to see there, NZ. I think really he became very viable due to Moscow 5 and IEM. Before then I'd seen a couple people playing him in AD carry, but after that there was just a massive eruption of AD carry Kennens flowing out in League of Legends.
Yeah, you don't see it, you know, overly too much. You know, it kind of depends on the enemy composition. But yeah, you know, Kennen AD is very, very strong. So obviously they're going to go with that. Melex will be on Kennen, of course, as you can see, going up against YellowP at that bot lane, who is definitely on Graves. But Galio has gone back now, has got the Chalice of the Harmony. He is quite bad with his mana until he gets that Chalice. And the good thing about Galio is with that Chalice he can clear minion waves and push that lane back so easy if he does choose. So the E and the Q, bang bang, CS.
Indeed. Now, I mean, let's see how he's faring there. 55 to 51, so relatively even. Another kind of ganking attempt here in mid, but Shyvana just going to stay in those bushes instead. I like Mundo before, opting it's not really worth the attempt, just going to pull back. So you're going to have Galio and Morgana both level 7. Let's have a look at the jungler. Shyvana's 5, Mundo is also 5. Have they bought up yet? Shyvana has the boots, the vampiric scepter, and a couple of health pots on the opposite side there. Mundo has got the cloth armor, the boots of speed, and a ruby crystal, so going to be relatively tanky. Of course, once he hits 6 with that sadism, especially if he pops it, there's always the possibility of a tower dive as well, depending on how his team react to it. So definitely one to watch out for. Is he going to basically sacrifice that blue towards Galio? I'd expect that to be the case, but Galio's actually get soul shackled from Morgana underneath the tower. Ignite's been popped as well. Bulwark has been used onto Galio, and Galio will manage to escape somehow. So that's an ignite and an ultimate burnt there from Morgana in the mid lane, and that can only be a good thing for Galio because he must be feeling pretty damn good right now. Just going to go back and recall, picks up the Chalice of Harmony as he said before, and the Mercury Treads.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be happy about that. He's going to be walking away and he's going to be thinking to himself, I'm such a boss. And so that has been, you know, kind of extinguished now from Morgana, and that might cause a couple ganks to come in.
Bot lane NC's a massive flurry of action there from Kennen popping his ulti, and Graves just managing to escape. I try my best not to interrupt you there, dude, but I thought a kill might be on the cards. It could still be on the cards. Janna's going to go down. A beautiful flash being used from Kennen there, popping everything he possibly could, and he will get that all-important first blood and the 400 gold in his back pocket. Great work from Kennen. Let's have a quick switch over. Galio seemingly pushing back again. Going to pick up the walls for a second. Thought he was going to recall just on my minimap, but he hasn't taken any damage whatsoever, so that's not going to be the case. And let's have a quick look at top lane again. Renekton, of course, against Yorick. Yorick 63 creep score. Renekton on 54, so he is slightly behind here, but Yorick is going to go ahead and recall. Currently has the Sapphire Crystal and the Meki Pendant with the Boots of Speed and Adorn's Shield. Definitely going to be building up here. Would expect to see Tear of the Goddess, but in fact he's not going to be recalling just yet. He is going to stay around for a tiny bit longer. But yeah, I mean, it's once again NZ Farm Fest all over again.
Yeah, dude, but Metalex, man, he makes me so happy inside. That was beautiful play. Flash straight in, Shuriken hit the stun, despite the Janus shield getting popped off, completely destroyed it, and that was a perfect kill at bot lane right there. And Metalex, we saw him early on in this tournament, or the TT World Cup, playing AP Alistair. He made me happy then, and he's making me happy now. Metalex, if you're listening after you play this game, I love you. No homo.
He just got a fanboy in Enzy, and Enzy will be your biggest fan. He is doing a great job though, Enzy, you have to say. Obviously got first blood, he's already got the BF sword, 76 creep score to Graves' 68, so he is ahead, but Graves also has a BF sword, so going to be relatively even in that mid lane. Lulu, of course, is a great support character, he's going to be able to really harass the enemy, and of course if Kennen's in any kind of bother, she can just pop the wild growth on top of Kennen and allow him to escape with that lightning rush as well. Here comes Shyvana popping the ultimate there, onto Renekton, and that was a bit of a strange one. I don't know if you caught that on the stream, but I don't know if there was any point in actually using the ulti there. Either way, it doesn't seem to matter. Renekton's just going to pull back, and Yorick is going to sit and try and farm as many of those creeps as possible. Mundo will be moving towards bot lane. Again, we are going to see an Oracle picked up on the junglers. The question is he going to go for a gank? And the answer is a no, as he pulls back into his jungle. So we are 10 minutes 45 through the game, guys, and only one kill has been taken from Kennen.
Yeah, very much the same as last game. Was very, very close. TL looked to have the advantage, going into the later stages of that game, but later that game went on, Urgot got weaker and weaker because obviously he isn't one of them, AD carries who can really just hyper carry late game as well. And they were up against the Graves, and Graves can just constantly do damage after damage after damage. And obviously that did go in favor of CLG. They did win the first map, so they are in the driver's seat right now. If they win this map as well, they will advance through to, I think, the semi-finals, and TL will be going towards the losers bracket. So CLG in a vital part to win this, but so is TL.
Absolutely, they're in a commanding position right now, and it's really the onus is on TL to pick up this game, otherwise they're going to be out. Going to be huge damage at that top lane as Yorick has 8, an Ignite and a couple attacks from Renekton as well, but he will manage to pull back to his tower. Needs to be relatively careful here, Renekton, because he is pushing very aggressively, and Shyvana is on the prowl. Having said it though, Shyvana opting to pull back to the tower instead of going for the gank, as she realised that Yorick was on very, very low health and low mana as well. Bot lane, huge ultimate coming in there from Kennen, but it looks like Lulu's going to be going down. Either way, that ultimate was used more for a defense mechanism than an engaging one, and now Morgana's going to try her best to come through, but look at that damage from Galio, taking about a quarter of Morgana's health, completely out from underneath her, and now she's going to have to pull back. Of course, she does get spell vamp for her the spells that she throws out there. She will get some of that life back, but she's just going to pull back towards the mid lane, NZ. But again, looking good here. I mean, Lulu went down at that bot and looking really quite good.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Metalect Summoner Heal right there, he would be a dead Kennen, possibly a double kill coming out. But a very nice play from CLG right there. Was a bit unlucky. They could have probably chased Morgana as well, but they decided, okay, no, she's got to roll up. We better just back off. It's better safe than sorry. We've got that one kill. We can go back. We can be happy. We've evened it up once again. And it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes later on. And I can only guess it's going to really favour CLG. Because, you've got Galio. He builds tanky and tankier as the game goes on. And on top of that, he can build some AP as well. So I would definitely be seeing an Abyssal Scepter coming out probably next. Maybe an Aegis, unless the support does go for it. Doesn't look like it so far. But I would definitely be putting it on the cards.
Yeah, and as you're talking there, Morgana actually did try a double tower dive, I guess you could say, there onto Mundo and to Galio as well, using the Soul Shackle. They have also gone for the Dragon at the same time, but they do need to be careful. Dragon is less than half health. Looks like CLG are going to take this opportunity to pick up their blue instead of really trying to negate that Dragon for the opposition. Galio will come in and take that blue buff, and of course Galio with blue is going to be able to spam away that Q and the W as well. The Resolute Smite, of course, will slow down. The Righteous Gust will give him movement speed and do nice damage on top of that as well. So blue buff for Galio makes him a very happy gargoyle indeed. But let's have a look at that bot lane as Graves and Janna are still battling against this Kennen and Lulu. Have the slight upper hand due to that kill previously, where Graves did actually pick that one up, has 117 creep score, has the BF sword and the pickaxe. Let's have a quick look. I thought for a second the Mundo was in the heavy attack, but he was actually just farming a couple minions. Saw the flashing red on the right corner of my eye there. But either way, he's going to be just fine. Again, back to the farming phase.
Yeah, and I think you missed that actually, Vince, but TL did actually get the Dragon as well. So they put themselves about 500 or 600 up now in gold difference. But, Wicked is coming up under a bit of pressure at top lane, but I just think he's got to walk it off right there as Renekton and just spin away like an absolute boss. Will be fine. I think Morgana is going to get that blue as well. Is going to run away. Yes, she is. But yeah, just like you said, it's very, very even right now, just like last game. But the later this game goes on, I can only guess it's going to really favour CLG. Like I said, you got the Galio. You have, of course, Graves as well to build up them items. And it's going to be interesting to see how this game will go. But on the opposite side, you got the likes of Kenny, you got the likes of Morgana, so, it's anyone's game right now.
Yeah, and I like you, and you mentioned this before, how is the Janna Galio kind of fair to one together, and how's it going to work out for their team? And we haven't really seen so far. Hasn't got to that stage yet. Galio tries his best to harass that Morgana out of the lane, forcing it to actually flash. I think for a couple seconds, Galio was thinking of using the Idol of Durand, his ultimate, but deciding against it. And he did actually have Mundo lurking in the bushes as well to jump out if he so decided to go for it. Not to be the case though, and Morgana is just going to pull back and take the race. In the meantime, Galio going to continue to farm. This is the beauty of blue on Galio. He's going to pick up a lot of creep score and harass so much. Has moved himself to 148 creep score to Morgana's 138. So Galio looking good. Has picked up the Negatron Cloak, the blasting one. More than likely going to take that into an Abyssal Scepter. And apart from that, Enzi, what would you like to see built on Galio here? Would you go along the Banshee's Veil route as well as time goes on? Or would you try and skip that item?
It kind of really depends if, it's really becoming a pain, because, Morgana's a Shoal Shackle or Dark Binding, but with Galio, I just love to build AP on top of Magic Resist, because he does so much damage, but, also, I do actually like Spirit Visage. I think it's Spirit Visage, I might be completely wrong, but cooldown reduction is very good on Galio as well, because obviously you've got very large cooldowns within the Q and the E, so have to be careful there, but I think bot lane. No, I think they're going to run away.
No, bot lane's going to be just fine. They're going to pull back here and try and evade any potential instances before they even happen. So, going to be all good. Going to avoid anything whatsoever. Morgana and Galio just continuing the onslaught upon one another. But let's have a quick look at some of these items that are being built up around the map. Let's have a look-see at Renekton. Haven't really followed him a great deal. Once again, going to go for the Hex Drinker. Has Null Magic Mantle, Ruby Crystal. That top tower is going to go down as he recalls. He's going to be picking up that Spirit Visage. Let's have a quick look-see at who he's against, which will be Yorick. He has got the Mana Moon, the Chain Vest, and the Sapphire Crystal. Could potentially build the Frozen Heart, as Urgot did last game if he so chooses. Entirely up to him, of course. Let's have a look at the AD carries. Graves has the Infinity Edge and the Berserker's Greaves. On the opposite side, Kedden has a Zeal, a BF Sword, and Berserker's Greaves. So very, very even. Only 4 creep score separating those two bottom AD carries. And it looks like this tower is going to go down from Teamless. So no problems whatsoever for them. Going to pick up some more gold. Very even on gold as well, and actually 600 in it.
Yeah, indeed. This is exactly what happened last game, and getting caught out from TL really kind of put them in the lower seat and CLG in the driver's seat, and that caused CLG to kind of just get that extra bit ahead and just capitalize on it. And TL, I think, are going to come into this game, they're going to be like, okay, we need to not do that this time. As this game goes on later and later, we definitely need to just stay together, stop getting caught out, get the ward coverage down, maybe get an Oracle in there as well, and just see how stuff goes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the reason why TL actually lost that first game, they were looking in a driver's seat for a few minutes, but they got caught out time and time again. Their Ari, for example, 3 or 4 times got caught out. Their Taric, 2 or 3 times as well. So these kind of small mistakes, as I remember saying in that first game, really started to build up and escalate out of control in a position where they could no longer really compete there. And of course, once that Baron fight kicked off, again, another slight mistake and a beautiful wall coming in from Anivia. It was pretty much game, set, and match from there on in. So, as you said, this game they're going to want to be more of a unit, they're going to want to stick together, but of course the downside of that, NZ, is if you literally stick holding hands in team fights, Galio will just ultimate you and you're going to get pummeled. So it's all about positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mean like literally hold hands, but just stay in a region where even if you are getting caught out, your team can come in for the backup as well. So just gonna have to wait and see how that one fends off. Obviously, the later this game goes, the laning phase is gonna go very shortly. I'd probably guess. It's nearly 20 minutes right now. I guess Dragon's gonna be up soon, unless I completely missed that and being completely clueless as normal. But, that's just a normal thing in NZ's day-to-day life, being a dribble.
Oh, it's lovable though, dude. Maybe dribble, but it is lovable. But either way, Lulu is going to come under heavy attack from Graves, but he's going to just pull back. Nice Howling Gale as well, replying from Janna there. And again, similar to that first game, the tower is down, so, that combination at bot lane needs to be a bit more careful than usual, to be a tiny bit more kind of precise in when they push and how, and that Mundo is going to be taking down the ward in front of Dragon, so visibility pretty much 0 right now for Teamless. Are going to have a big team fight potentially kicking off here as Lulu is going to harass that Mundo. All 5 players coming in here, but Galio is nowhere to be seen. He does, however, have the teleport, and here we go. He's going to pop off the teleport. We are going to see a team fight any second now. Dominus pop from Renekton. Here we go. Big team fight kicking off as Janna will Monsoon away. Ultimate being used from Galio. Look at that damage. A double Double kill from Renekton. Can he pick up any more as we go on? Yes, he will. Gets the triple on the prowl for his quad and penta, but I don't think they're going to be too bothered about that one. Yorick has managed to pick up Janna in the meantime, and now this huge tower dive force is going to be trying to come down on top of that Kennen and Lulu, but instead they're opting to pull back, don't want to give away any needless kills or deaths, and that is basically going to be the 4-for-2 advantage there now for CLG.eu. But that was all about the Galio. He, by this time, Enzi, he allowed the Dragon to damage TL large enough and long enough to really put them in an awkward position, then teleported down into this brush just left of the Dragon, popped his ultimate, hit 3 or 4 players, and Renekton did the rest. Beautiful play from CLG.
That was so good from Galio right there. He did it just at the right time. Kennen popped his ult off just as soon as Galio popped his ult. So, like, Metalex was literally out of range, and he was running back into range, so he ran straight in towards the Galio ult, and he wasn't able to hit anybody because CLG's positioning was just spot on. The Galio ult was just perfection, and Kennen wasn't able to get in there with his ultimate. Of course, you know, he's going AD. You might say, okay, you know, not going to do all that much damage, but stuff like that can really help. I mean, it's got great CC, great damage as well, great AoE. So I guess it's just Galio. Galio made that play right there. Can't say any more of it. It was beautiful from Janna as well with the Monsoon. Just all around great play from CLG and a great team fight.
I'm checking my chat here, Enzi, and Galio had finished off the Abyssal Scepter. And you might be thinking, well, big deal, but of course it is big deal. Galio's ultimate is so good with a quick Abyssal Scepter as well. Of course, it reduces the magic resist of nearby enemy champions, and with that ultimate down, so much damage was to be had there. So great stuff once again from Galio. I was about to comment that, you know, they're going to engage here in a 4v5 without Galio. Then I saw the ward, then I saw Galio teleporting, and I was like, okay, here we go. We're about to see some serious action kicking off, and they did not disappoint. So either way, 4-2, gold very similar, just 200 in it, in fact. And we have said this time and time again, NZ, you know, you could have pretty much 20-0 kills. It's down to the gold that matters. That is purely down to the gold.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're neck and neck. Just like before, you know, there was kills in it, but obviously the gold difference wasn't too much. And I just want to point this out again onto Galio. I know we're kind of just, you know, just talking about Galio here, but he's doing so much for the team right now. And he's built that needlessly large rod. That's why I absolutely love to build on Galio. That Rabadon's death cap, or even he can go for the hourglass as well, just to pop that in the middle of his ultimate. But I would definitely go towards the Rabadons, because as you saw, the damage he does, and with that Abyssal Scepter, lowers the magic resist, meaning it's just pure domination.
Absolutely, currently has 0 kills, 0 deaths, but 4 assists, and importantly, he has been involved in every single kill on his team. So it just goes to show his dominance so far in this game, but looks like we are going to have a very aggressive push throughout this mid. A couple of pings going down here from both teams. They realise that Shyvana will be taking those Wraiths. In fact, just the big Wraith is going to pull back. Of course, the big Wraith is the one that's really worth anything in terms of gold and XP as well. And Morgana is going to try her best to land a couple Dark Bindings. Not going to be successful on this occasion though, and even if she was, with Janna at the back there with Howling Gale, can knock them both up in the air, is such a great utility champion. And yeah, I mean, we were asking, Enzi, you know, we did ask before this game, how is the Janna Galio ultimates going to fare off against each other? It seemed to do just fine.
Yeah, it's definitely doing absolutely great work right now. And, you know, Morgana just trying to spam them binds away, maybe go for an engage of some sort. She has got that blue, so she has got the ability to, you know, spam that dark binding out and put the tormented soil down along with that, if she does choose so, as it looks like they might be going into the opposition jungle.
Yeah, could have another team fight kicking off right now, and indeed that will be the case. This Kennen is going to pop off the ultimate there. Big Monsoon use as well from Janna, trying her best to alleviate the pressure, and somehow nobody has fallen. Shyvana and Morgana, very low health. Nice dark binding there onto the Mundo, is trying his best to land an effective cleaver and try and follow up. Nice slow as well from Lulu, trying their best, and here's Galio landing the Q. He will actually try and tower dive, as Kennen is going to use that lightning rush to try and subside any enemy threats. And I am kind of blown away, NZ. Massive team fight of blue, no kills once again. And that was pretty much the story of the first game. We had 2 massive team fights with only 1 death in both combined.
I think it was just good from TL right there, getting the hell out of there. I mean, they were kind of split. You know, they were going down that ramp towards River, and they were going around as well. So they kind of got away after that Galio. I think a couple flashes were burnt as well, and despite Froggen landing that Q, he was on the opposite side of the wall, so he couldn't really capitalize on that. Didn't have the flash because he did initially use that in the team fight to pop off his ultimate, which I didn't really think was needed. I think he could have just popped that Q, went straight in, and just popped the ultimate instead of just trying to rush that flash in. That allowed TL to just get the hell out of there, move round, and just get out. And I think that's the reason why no kills were exchanged. If they did stick about, then there would definitely be at least 2 kills going down right now, and TL would not be happy.
It was looking really precarious for CLG there, up until the point that Janny just pushed them all away. But here we go, Galio's going to be under heavy attack right now. A nice polymorph used, but Bulwark has been taken out there from Galio. He has been ignited as well. Yorick is going to try his best to try the tower dive, and will end up finishing off Galio. I think the last tick of the ignite, perhaps a ghoul finished him off there. So unfortunate from Froggen, but he will go down. That's going to be a 1-for-0 exchange. Potentially, this mid tower will follow suit as well, but Iron Storm has been used. Needs to be careful, because here comes the retort from CLG. Could potentially try their luck, but with Shyvana in that bush might not be the most intelligent of ideas, and they will be pulling back, especially as Renekton, who's definitely one of their scarier champions right now, on 3-for-0, would not be taking part in that team fight. So they're all just going to kind of subside and pull back and live to fight for another day. Is this going to be a Baron though, Enzi? It looks like they're going to try the Baron. Great timing here, really trying to catch off CLG off guard, and they could potentially pick up this Baron. The damage isn't necessarily the greatest, but they're pretty much uncontested. The only downside for them, though, is that Kennen is not a part of this team fight, regardless of what happens, and I think due to that fact, they will be pulling back. They did not want to risk that 4v4 fight on Baron without Kennen net to try and put down some serious pain on the opposition. Of course, Galio was dead, so he wouldn't have taken a part either, but either way, they are both going to pull back and try and recoup and regroup.
That was a great kill at mid on towards Gallo there. That was all down to Lulu landing that polymorph, and then the exhaust as well straight after, because obviously Gallo popped his E, which increases his movement speed, and the exhaust was popped just at the right time, not getting out of the range, and was able to chase him down, get the kill. And I think a goal actually finished him off after the ignite was ticking down as well. So great ignite popped on there towards Froggen. And they tried to capitalize with the Baron, but they thought, okay, no, better safe than sorry, let's back away and try and get it another tie. But if they did get that Baron, then I'd be so interested to see how this game would go. I mean, they'd have full map control. CLG would be thinking, what the hell are we going to do right now? We've got to have to turtle it out just for a little bit longer, because it's relatively even right now. There's not really much in it. There's about 500 or a 1k gold, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, they would have definitely thought, okay, we're in the driver's seat. We can push the envelope here. We can push them. We can be in control. We can push them lanes, get that gold up.
Yeah, 300 gold in this game. Once again, incredibly close, and we are ever so slowly moving towards that elusive 30-minute mark here. So it's pretty much a carbon copy of that first game, Enzi. Very close on kills, very close on gold, very close on towers, just close all over the map. And it's definitely been another one of those farm fests for the first 15 to 20 minutes. And you're going to have a lot of explosion here as the game progresses on, especially when you have a look at some of the ultimates on offer. The likes of a Galio, the likes of a Kennen, the likes of a Morgana, all of them very explosive, in-your-face ultimate. So definitely going to be interesting to follow on this match until its conclusion. Either way, Yorick and Morgana are going to continue to apply that pressure in towards the mid. I think they desperately want this mid tower down. They really want to take some of that map control out of the hands from CLG and basically just try and push on down here. But either way, bot lane is going to be Kennen just basically getting free farm against that Mundo. Mundo can't do a whole lot to Kennen here, as we are going to see Shyvana coming under heavy attack. She is going to go down there, caught out of position once again. You have to say that TL have been doing this time and time again over these two games. It's really what threw them that first game. In fact, it's just being in those kind of positions they really shouldn't be in and getting punished for it. So Shyvana's going to be out the game for the next 30 to 25 seconds. That's going to be a fairly big body blow there to TL. She didn't actually pop her ultimate, and I guess that's one of the things working in her favour, that when she does come back, she is going to have the ultimate at her disposal. So if potentially CLG do go for the Baron, which they haven't done so, then she would have been still definitely one to watch. But either way, Farm Fest again, NZ, very, very close on gold.
That's the one. Yeah, stop getting caught out right now, because that will lose you the game in an instance. It lost you the last game. Personally, that's what I felt anyway. And obviously the Urgot as well, who's kind of fallen behind, because, later game as Urgot goes on isn't really the greatest. But, let's just completely forget about the Urgot. They need to not get caught out now. They have to be 100% focused. That stuff loses games.
Absolutely does, and especially in this kind of situation, and where it's so close, so tense as well. You really don't want to lose your player or two to really quite silly mistakes, and they don't need to be made. But either way, Shyvana is going to go towards that top lane and try and just farm down. And they have taken down this mid tower, and that's going to give them slight control in the sense that they have all these tier 1 towers down. So a lot of this vision in the jungle right now for CLG is not going to be there unless they get the ward down, and that's going to enable perhaps TL to try another sneaky Baron in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just having a quick look at CS. Look at Galio's CS. Great stuff. I mean, he's got that finished Rabadon's down. He's got the Abyssal Scepter, Chalice as well. Merc Treads to go along with that. And I'm just wondering what item is he going to build next. It looks like the Aegis is probably getting built right now from Janna, so that isn't an option. A Rylaze would actually be quite nice in this situation, giving him a bit more HP, or maybe even get the Banshee just to increase his tankiness. I mean, he's got so many options right now. His CS is great. He's doing so much damage, and he's got so many options. Like, what would you build right now with that Galio in this situation, Vince, if you were in that game right now? I know that's a hard question, but if you can't answer it, just say, bro. Just man up.
I'd probably say something like Banshee's Veil, just to make him a tiny bit tankier, just to give him a bit more HP. Obviously, again, he stacks nicely with Magic Resist. His passive will give him 50% of that inability power. So it's going to give him ability power, it's going to make him very tanky, and of course, the Banshee's Veil against the likes of Morgana is very useful. It does block one of those spells that will be coming towards him. So I'd say, Banshee's Veil would be a nice pickup. He's currently out of position, but he does have Teleport off cooldown again, so we can afford to do this. As we saw on the Dragon fight earlier on in this game, he can kind of just farm, and if his team are like, hey dude, we really need you, he teleports in, wham bam, ultimate's popped off, and everything's pretty good. And of course, with that flash as well, NZ, doesn't matter if he's necessarily too close to you, can just flash an ultimate and really turn the tides of a battle.
Absolutely, completely agree, but really, this game's really going to go down to the Baron right now. I don't see it any other way, unless one player just gets completely caught out. Guys, I really don't see this game, getting decided on just that. I think it's just going to be down to that Baron, maybe even a Dragon if they're really desperate. But I mean, at this level, the Dragon can be got so quick. So I don't think that's really going to be a major factor right now. I think it's just getting that Baron and just separating the teams right now. That's the main problem.
Oh, chat, why are you so crazy? But either way, we could be having a Baron here. As I'm talking, you're going to see CLG trying to stop this one off. They have been spotted, though, from this TL team. Here comes Gali once again, going to pop off that ultimate, and the flash catches 3 players. Big damage going to be following here as Mundo's going to pick up the first kill onto Lulu. Morgana has popped up the Soul Shackle. Kennen at the bottom of this team fight's also going to use that Slicing Maelstrom. Big damage all over the map here. Frags being exchanged left, right, and centre, and that's going to be 2-0 right now, 2-1 in fact now, as Galio is dangerously low on health, going to be trying to escape, and wowzers, that team fight was nice. Really great stuff from both teams, massive damage as well being exchanged, and that is probably going to be the free Baron now. Can't see how Kennen and Shyvana can pick this one up. Shyvana's on fairly low health, Kennen's on not too bad health, but he has been put out from Graves and gets completely melted there. Got hit as well from Galio and Janna, and that can leave Shyvana all by her lonesome. Must be feeling pretty depressed right about now. Can't do anything to stop this Baron. If she even goes close, she too will fall. So free Baron in the end coming out from CLG.eu, 9-4 ahead now, and that's what we were talking about before, NT. Slow start, slow kind of mid-game, but then we're going to see massive explosions in those team fights, exactly what we just witnessed.
Yeah, and really the game changer, just Galio right now, just completely stopping the enemy team from running away. You saw them, they just were running with the tail between their legs. They wanted to get the hell out of there, but the likes of Galio, he could speed himself up, flash in, and just completely stop that from, them retreating. They were able to get them kills. Obviously, TL weren't ready to fight. That's exactly why they were retreating. There's the Baron, and I think that's probably going to be the game, to be completely honest with you. They've really separated this game out right now. They're doing great job. And now they're going to have that map control. They can start pushing them lanes if they do wish and trying to get them inhibitors down.
A fairly strange build, I guess you could say, for Shyvana. She's trying to go with the Randuin's Omen and Riddle's Out. Of course, Randuin's Omen, once you do pop, that will slow movement and attack speed surrounding enemies by 35%, I believe. So I can kind of see where she's coming from there, but quite an odd build coming out from her. Either way, Dragon could be going down from Teamless, but here comes CLG once again with that Baron buff, going to be very, very strong. Morgana has popped off the ultimate. Janna will push her away though. Here comes Shyvana, ultimate being popped as well from Galio. Big damage being released onto Morgana, who will fall almost instantly. And now Yorick with that wild growth is going to try his best to escape, but he has 4 players chasing after him. Only a matter of time before he gets dropped as well. Indeed he will, from the Mundo. And now Lulu is trying to escape from Galio. She should be just fine. But again, you know, fair enough, they managed to pick up the dragon, but they lost 3 players for it, NZ. I don't think it was worth it in the end. Make that 4 players, as Lulu has just gone down at the bot lane, getting tower dove from Galio, Mundo, and Janna as well. And definitely not worth it in the end. 54.8k gold to CLG, 48.1 coming in for Teamless.
Well, you know, I said didn't really think there was going to be much fights, you know, with Dragon and stuff, unless they were really desperate. Obviously, TL were hella desperate right there, and CLG going to pick up another 4 kills, another team fight going to them. They fought with Baron, and they paid the price, and really now I can only say I think this game is pretty much over. It's about to go to maybe 10k very shortly. They're going to be able to push these towers right now, and, you know, just to signify the end, if you get 2 inhibs down, it's basically over. And Lex, I just saw escape with like no HP. Obviously I'm on a delay, so I just saw that. But yeah, they're gonna have full map control now. They just want another team fight. Great stuff coming out from CLG.
And of course the beautiful thing about Galio NC is it really alleviates the pressure from the rest of his team for those few seconds that he has ultimated down. Have a look at Graves. 5 kills, 0 deaths, 6 assists after 36.5 minutes. That just goes to show the power of a good Galio with a good AD carry. They could really just rinse through the opposition. He's already picked up the Infinity Edge, the Last Whisper, the Phantom Dancer, and has a Vampiric Scepter. Could very well go a Bloodthirster if he so chooses. So this Graves right now is incredibly strong. And if you switch over to Kennen, he's done a really good job actually. He's on 2-1-1 as well, has the Infinity Edge, the Phantom Dancer, the Last Whisper. Pretty much identical builds coming out here from the 2 AD carries. The big difference is Galio. Galio can completely allow Graves to just absolutely destroy the enemy team with pretty much no kind of danger put on his head.
Yeah, and Galio just has got that Frozen Heart, so has got a lot of armor to go along with some mana as well. So going to be really, really good for Galio in this situation. He's going to be, you could basically say, nearly unkillable, because he can just go in, have the taunt, and he's got players to back him up. That's one thing that wasn't going ahead. I think it was earlier on in the first game against TRI with, who was it, Vince? Can you please remind me?
Navi?
Navi, yeah. And, you know, Citizen was doing so much damage with that Ziggs, but no one followed up. That's...
What, this Graves' damage is absolutely ridiculous. He's picked up the double kill. Morgana's going to pop off the Soul Shackles though. Sorry to jump in there. Gets the triple as well. And he literally just cut through 2 players with 2 shots. 4 shots, 2 kills. Thank you very much. Then picks up the 3rd as well. And that all came from Janna getting caught out. Janna was completely in no man's land, gets polymorph, looks like she's about to get dropped, then out of nowhere come 3 kills for the opposition of CLG. Absolutely beautiful play from Graves once again, showing just how strong this character is with the right items and with the right positioning. That is going to be the inhib tower falling, and the inhib as well. If York isn't careful, he'll be following suit and 6 foot under to add to the rest of his teammates, but not going to be the case as CLG will pull back. Apologies for jumping in there, Enzi. Continue, please.
Well, all I gotta say, man, is Yellow Pete too strong. That is all. And inhibit.
Indeed, he is too strong. But you can definitely put that down to his teammates. You know, an AD carry is only as good as his supporting characters on his team. You can't have an AD carry running in the opposition, just taking all 5 players down on his own. It's definitely been down to those team fights coming in. Renekton as well has been a bit of an unsung hero. 4-0-4, he hasn't died either. Has Randuin's Omen, Last Whisper, the more of Mortis as well as he had last game, and the Spirit Visage. So he's very, very tanky. When he pops his ultimate as well, when he goes into Dominus, he is going to be very, very scary in amongst those team fights. And that will allow, once again, Graves to just pummel through the opposition. And then, to add to the mix, you've got Mundo running around as well. Incredibly tanky, currently has 4.4k health, has the Oracle, has a Elixirs put on him as well. He's just an absolute beast right now. Warmog's armor, Spirit Visage, Randuin's Omen. So they actually have 2 Randuin's Omens here on the CLG.eu team. So they can pretty much stack that, keep the opposition consistently slowed, and pick up the pieces. Again, that works in Graves' favour.
I just have no idea how TL are going to come back for this. They need a miracle team fight. I mean, CLG have that inhibitor down now. They can push the other lanes all they want. Let the super minions do their job. Because even if TL, they push the envelope, they go for a team fight, the super minions are going to do the job, and they might be able to get, a tower next to that, nexus, and that's going to be big, big stuff. So, that inhibitor's down now. That's going to allow CLG to maybe push the other lanes and try and get to them other inhibitors as well. And they're going to definitely be putting into place Baron as well. I think it's going to be up very shortly.
Yeah,
It's 3 minutes
big,
after it goes down.
big team fight in mid-NZ, as we are going to see all kinds of ultimates popped off. That's going to be Soul Shackles, Idol of Durand, and also the Slicing Maelstrom coming in from Kennen. 2 kills have gone down there, make that 3 in fact, and all of them, surprise, surprise, have been TL players biting the dust. There's going to be another kill to Graves. Can he pick up the last? Answer is a no. That's an ace. The GGWPs have been exchanged, and that is going to be a 2-0 victory coming in there for CLG.eu with a surrender vote for the 2nd consecutive time from TL. Beautiful game to Castle Enzi. Really enjoyed that one, and I think the best team won in the end.
Yep, obviously it was a 2-0 advantage right there for CLG. Great play. I mean, it was very even until, later the stages went. So they just closed it out, later the game got, and CLG were very, very good. TL did get caught out a lot in the game number 1, but kind of lost them the game. The second game they didn't as much. I think they got caught out a couple times, but they definitely fixed that. But despite that, CLG were too strong right there. They had Graves just bashing away with so much damage. They had Galio, who was just completely changing the game at that point with his ultimate and just completely denying the whole team or the opposing team. So, great play from CLG, and I'm really going to be interested to see how they fend off in the semi-finals of the Corsair Vengeance Cup.